Good evening, my friends. This being the Friday night version of this thing of ours on the 12th of January, Common Era. Gonzalo Lra died. He is no more. We don't know. I don't feel comfortable in the cause of it. I know his father has made statements. He might have died in a hospital, a prison hospital. It might have been because of pneumonia, double pneumonia, pneumothorax. It could have been torture, neglect. I don't know. I don't believe anything anybody tells me. My first question is, do you know who he is? Do you know who he is? Do you? Who doesn't know Gonzalo Lra? Who? It's okay. This time I'm asking you, have you ever heard of him? Have you ever heard of him? It's very interesting because there's some people that are very upset. Tucker Carlson had his father on. Elon Musk was going to ask. Anybody know who it is? Did we? Anybody? Should we? So this is fascinating. So you never did. And I'm not trying to be one of those people like, well, you hang on a minute, check the volume here. There we go. That's a little better. I'm not going to be one of these people who tells you, well, you should know this, and how dare you not know it. I'm not saying that. But it's very interesting because around the world, people are saying, wow. This was a fellow, we're going to talk about him and how this is part and how it, believe it or not, it signals this new world in 2024. Okay. And I don't expect people to understand it. I don't expect extrapolation. I just don't. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you because I think it's sad, it's critical, and it's something that I want you to be aware of and to know. So anyway, dear friends, please like what we're doing. Please subscribe to our channel. Please do what we are doing. I ask, I beseech, implore, and importune you as usual to follow us and to listen to us. And before we get going, we have to ring the cash register and bring to your attention some of the great people who make us possible and who have great products, especially during these trying times. This is Lionel Nation Gold. And I think you should listen very carefully. The markets are in turmoil. The whole world is in turmoil. Oil, tech, retail, property, you name it. Nobody knows where this all ends. So what can you do? Well, you might have heard of precious metals, but not thought much more about it. How do you buy them? Where would you even keep gold if you had it? But precious metals come into their own in times like these. As geopolitical tensions rise and economic turmoil looms, gold is always a beacon of stability. Investing in some resilience with the Noble Gold Investments IRA services, looking after your money makes sense. The team at Noble Gold Investments will run through your options with you and see if you qualify to start a gold IRA or 401k rollover. Protect your portfolio with a Noble Gold Investments IRA and claim a free silver virtue coin for starting. Call 877-646-5347 today. Tell them Lionel sent you. That's 877-646-5347 and fortify your financial future against the winds of change. Or visit LionelNationGold.com right now. What was that again? That's LionelNationGold.com. The only gold company I trust. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. Dear friends, as I've been saying, don't forget to, on February the 3rd at the Fabled and Storied Cutting Room, I will be there. My friends, please come out and say hello. Let's shake hands. Let's get to know each other, shall we? Shall we? By the way, information as to that is here for you to peruse and to follow accordingly. Right there, there's the link. Gonzalo Lra. Gonzalo Lra was out of his mind. Gonzalo Lra was something he had. He was very, very smart, very, very smart, rather loquacious. I think he was eloquent in many respects. I think he was red pill something or other. He might have been some dating. I don't know what he did. Who knows what he did? I don't know. And then one day, just like with everything else, one day I just noticed him, just like John Mearsheimer, when they boop, they just pop up. And he is apparently married to a woman from Ukraine, and I think he has a couple of kids, and he lived in Kharkov. And he was, you can go and see some of his stuff. He had a great delivery, very animated. I always thought sometimes, perhaps, even though I'm not a professional, I'm not a psychiatrist, I thought that maybe he might have been acting a little bit manic. Just a tad manic with the laughing, kind of had that Tucker laugh, that Amadeus kind of a laugh. But he was brutal in his assessment and his excoriation of the execrable Mr. Zelensky. Oh, he was, I mean, brutal. Brutal to the point where you ask yourself, what are you doing? Why are you saying this? What do you, why are you, these people are thugs. And he went on, he says, here I am, I'm a dumb crack. And anybody can find out where he is. It's not exactly, Brooklyn. There's a lot of, I guess you can hide. And they would show he would do these wonderful dissertations. He's very, very at ease. He would smoke his cigarettes. He wore an orange cap for seems like a year. And he would take the big bottled water and he'd make coffee and he'd talk to you and had a great delivery. Very smart. Absolutely despised Zelensky. And wasn't so much infatuated with Putin, but do you ever hear like Scott Ritter sometimes? His excitement in explaining certain things will be elevated to such an extent where he'll say, like, how dare Israel doesn't say, okay, take it easy. He just kind of gets it. Just like there's another woman she's very good, but she has to be lugubrious. She has to be funereal. She has to be not unctuous. She has to be very and the children of Gaza have nothing to eat. You don't need it. You don't need that. Just explain it. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do it. Now, anyway, make a long story short, one day there was one of these online, these people hated him. So apparently some youngsters, I guess, or somebody from some online basically outed him, kind of taunted Zelensky to do something like, hey, do you know this guy's saying these things about you? Well, aren't you going to do something about it? I'm thinking, this is an American citizen. Why are you doing this? Because at the time, when there was this typical, people were just rabid Putin, just rabid. They knew nothing about it. They couldn't find Ukraine. They couldn't tell Kharkov or Crimea from a hole in the ground. And if you mention anything as far as their neo-Nazi backgrounds, the Azov Battalion or right sector or whatever, Donbass, Maidan, no clue, nothing. They knew nothing. They just hated Putin. And anybody that they thought either didn't hate him enough or supported him, well, they were going to come after him. So one day, as he's there, they're knocking on the door, and there's the FSB or the SUB or whatever the name of the Ukrainian secret police. They showed up and took him off, and he's got this wild hair. He's standing there, and he looked petrified. You would too if you have. It's like, well, what are you doing? I'm surprised it took this long. They took him off. I don't know what they did. He couldn't say anything. And supposedly, he was intimating in his last broadcast, as he says he's trying to make it to wherever, Romania, I don't know where. He's trying to seek asylum. He seemed to intimate that somebody said, "Why didn't you leave? You had a passport. What are you?" They say, "Well, they told me to stay here. Why did you?" Anyway, I don't know anything about it. But now it appears either way he's dead. And he died either in a hospital prison. I don't know. And until that is weighed, forget it. And when it comes to death and hospitals and pathology, America still doesn't understand how to deal with got a great note. Do you expect people to understand the difference between double pneumonia, a pneumothorax? See, the legal standard would have been this: would he have died anyway? Gonzalo Lra, would he have died anyway, irrespective of the treatment? Would it, or was it malpractice, or was it deliberate? Who knows? People are going to get to that. But here's the story. Let me throw some things at you. Number one, remember Brittany Griner? Remember her? 6'9", women. I don't know if she was she's a non-binary, trans, whatever. I don't know. But she went to Russia and basically broke their laws regarding marijuana or vaping or whatever. And they arrested her. And immediately everybody demanded, let her go. Let her go. Now, it didn't matter what the subject was. We have fentanyl problems and all this other kind of jazz. You would think maybe that somebody somewhere might say, it's a good idea to get tough with drugs. I don't know. Anyway, she had to be released. Okay, fine. And then we have this thing about, well, is he a journalist or not? What is a journalist? What is a journalist? What is it? Seymour Hersh, huge today. I mentioned Max Blumenthal and Aaron Mate and just others, people who were just, everything's changed. So was he a journalist? I think so. It was certainly an opinion. And the United States, our government, our State Department, lifted not a finger to help him in the least and couldn't care less one way or the other. So his father, the impassioned plea of a father, thank God, went on Tucker's show. I think Gray Zone may have done it. Elon Musk said he was going to look into it. But when you're ignored in this country, if you don't enjoy that particular rock star status, you can forget it. So what I'm telling you is simply this. We have a very kind of a convoluted idea as to what is and isn't journalism. John Pilger died recently. I think I told you this. You know this. He was one of these rogue. They used to always talk about the daring do Lotharios, the swashbuckling photographers. Pilger was one of these great war correspondents, not somebody from the UPI or AP, but somebody who was kind of independent, kind of rogue. Julian Assange, we have this schizophrenic attitude. He is a journalist. What he did is what Woodward and Bernstein did. What Daniel Ellsberg did. I mean, we have this selective idea about we love Woodward and Bernstein, but nobody else. We Dan Rather, people hate because of something to do with, remember, Fontgate and all that other kind of jazz. But who are the people today? We live in a world where our information system is different than anything else. Let me ask you something. If you have any children at home, ask them, where do you get your news? I know a young man who gets his from Reddit, which I find interesting. It's a big, big deal. I know another, his wife, a young couple, She just has her whatever's on Facebook, whatever comes along, whatever just shows up, whatever is pushed her way. She doesn't have to look for it. It's just, well, there it is. Short of that, no interest, a real ennui, a real boredom, a nonchalance about the news. And a lot of people are like that. Same thing with this. It's just one of those things where you wonder, what is it? Why doesn't this interest you? There's a story going on right now. One of my favorite commentators, newsmen, is Pepe Escobar. And he writes for The Cradle and others. And you see him on YouTube, and he's Brazilian. And he was on a show with a young man. Well, it's a young man. I don't know how old he is. It was one of the most comprehensive pieces explaining the notion of why Yemen is important, how the Houthis think, and why this particular Bab al whatever the strait, they call it the gate. Listen to this. This is called the Gate of Tears, Bab al something or other. This is Yemen Strait. Yemen Strait. Here we go. Bab, B-A-B, El Mandeb. It means the gate of tears or the gate of grief. And it's between Arab Peninsula and Djibouti and Eritrea, right at the Horn of Africa. I mean, don't you love these terms? The Horn of Africa. And that little place, that little passage point, that little thing is the Red Sea up to the Suez Canal. But you got to go through there. This little tiny thing. And the Houthis can just shut that down with drones. They can shutter, scuttle, shuttle. I mean, they can destroy ships and causing a lot of people to say, well, we have to go all the way around to call it the Asian Silk Road, and it's more money and insurance and all this stuff. Those ones called the Houthis. And here's what they want to do. If you're a Russian, come on through. Or anybody else from that, China, come on through. But if you're either Israel or America, or if you're deemed to be supporting of them, they shut you down. This is what they've done it. This is the biggest story. These are hardcore idealists, and they don't really have skin in the game. This is something which doesn't. So anyway, so in order for me to explain it to you, where do you think I'm going to go? Look, Sean Hannity. Where am I going to find out about this? They don't talk anything about this. I saw something which was so embarrassing. I think there is this fellow, Patrick Ben David or whatever. I don't get it, but whatever. Very popular. Good for you. He had on a Jewish comedian or something, and this other fellow, Hassam, you might have seen him. He's a former Palestinian cardiologist or car surgeon or something. It was one of the most moronic things I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe it. Now, today, I saw something and I listened to it, and I implore you to see this. Jordan Peterson's daughter, Michaela, I believe her name is, she does an interview with Norman Finkelstein. He gives you the entire soup to nuts story of Israel-Palestine, pre-1948, Theodore Herzl, all the way through 184, 242, blah, blah, all the UN. It is one of the most important, comprehensive reviews of the history. And you can't believe how the facts and the stories have been so. Here's one that I can't believe this. I just accepted it whole cloth. One was that the first Intifada started off that it was basically, it was a protest, but it started off as this bombing and murderous and dangerous. Not even close. Not even close. Isn't that something? It's just amazing. I didn't know. I just accepted that. Just accepted it. I learned not the propaganda, but the bumper sticker statements, and I could not believe that even I was doing it. Even I was thinking that. It's incredible, absolutely monumentally incredible. There is a group of people today, young people in particular, who are providing another version of this reality, and it is so good, my friends. I ask you, please go out of your comfort zone. Go to your phone or iPad and just avail yourself. You can go no wrong. Start off with the history of Palestine from 1948 to 242, all the way. Just get an idea of what's happening. You can't, it's there for you. The only thing that's keeping you from it is you. The only thing, it's like when people don't want to lose weight or go on a diet, or they just don't want to do it. And they don't really have an excuse, or they just are saying, doesn't matter how much. I'm not in the right frame of mind. I don't want to do it. I don't care. And that's it. That's kind of what this is. It really is. It's so monumentally critical, dear friends. Critical. And this is where it starts here. This is where it starts here. Now, it's completely up to you. We started off again with Gonzalo Lra, very, very sad. And this says 298 days until the election day. Does Trump have a chance and a plan? Now, let me ask you something. Does Trump have a plan? You know better than I do. Do you? Does Trump have a plan? What's his plan? I think he's all tied up with this court stuff. I don't think he is. I'm not hearing much of a plan. Do you? Have you heard of a plan? Have you heard of anything? Anything? Have you? Anything? I think he's going to let you down again. And I think one of the reasons, not that he's a bad man, not that he's trying to hurt your feelings, but I think he has been so knocked off his kind of platform, for lack of a better word. I think he is just for you to maintain this kind of focus, for you to maintain this kind of focus on so many court cases that could literally, actually, I don't care how much money they say he's got. I don't know. This is serious. They want to just wipe him out. I don't know if he's been able to even focus on this. Biden's not. Gavin Newsom's really not. So my question is, do you think Trump has a plan? Not whether you hope he has a plan. Does he have a plan? Have you heard it? Ant says, maybe he doesn't need a plan. Please, let's don't pull it out of our arse. Remember years ago, you would say 4D chess. He's a genius. Well, about that. No, he's a genius. Well, he's a genius or not. Oh, no. You don't understand. He sees things. And then they started building up this weird, this strange kind of I don't know, this pattern is just odd. They went out of their way to say, I'm thinking to myself, enough of this. Enough of this. So listen, here we go. Mr. President, you got to convince me. Don't turn to me to say, I've got to, build up the team and I've got to yell. No. I'm telling you right now that it's up to you to convince me. Now, by the way, did you hear what Fox News did? Fox News, they're going after Mike Lindell again. I barely read it. I mean, I'm saying I'm telling you right now. This man has the greatest products in the world. My slippers, my pillows, my blankets, everything is fantastic. It's incredible. And what I don't understand is, why must he go through so much torment to merely sell a product and dare I say, opine at the same time? So here's what you do. products are incredible. I told you the slippers, but also it's his message. Listen. All right, my friend. It's time to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But listen carefully. What are we talking about? Giza Dream Bed Sheets, My Pillow 2.0, sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. Think about it. And they're monster sellers right now. Listen to me. Slippers. My slippers. Think about it. What do they do with My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. And when they apply that genius to slippers, look out. Look out. Look at the specials right now, but only if you use promo code Lionel. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel. Solid disproverbial. mypillow.com/Lionel or call 800-645-4965. Call right now and watch how fast Mike answers the phone. mypillow.com, the best. As we speak, as that goes on, I just read an email. I'm going to say his name is Tony. That's it. Hi, Lionel. Thanks for sharing my slipper email. I wanted to let you know they just arrived today, and just in time as it's -9 now to be -20 in, I guess, Montana. And there he is with his beautiful. God bless you, my friends. I'm not kidding you about that. I'm not saying it just because we're going to say it. It's true. Now, I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. 2024 is going to be one of the most important years of our life. And the reason why is because of the changes that are going to be tumultuous. And the biggest source of it will be from the viewpoint of news and the like. So, my friends, I thank you. I've got to prepare. I've got to do a hit coming up, doing some other stuff. I'm in big demand. Let me thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for your just being there. I appreciate it immensely. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m., dear friends. Have a great and glorious day. And don't forget these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.